Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How are you guys doing on this Tuesday afternoon? I hope you guys are doing well and that these messages are helping you. And thank you all for continuing to tune in and be here and showing up to support the channel. Please feel free to leave comments about how um, these messages are helping you, how they're resonating with you, and please feel free to share this information and this channel with others. Because what I'm noticing so far is people need to hear these messages, especially in the times that we're living in today. People truly need to hear these messages. And it's so important, guys, that we keep this going, persevering and just helping other people. It's so important because the world we live in today, like I said, is spinning mostly on misery, you know, and toxicity and drama and all the things that we don't want in our life. So it's very important that you guys continue to show up here, share with others, because I talk about my own experiences and what I've gone through and how I've gotten through the pain, the grief, the depression, the trigger moments of grief. It just, couldn't get any worse how I felt. So I talk about how I got through it and, back from 2020. If you have just tuned in for the first time, if you go back some videos, you'll hear those messages. So, also keep in mind, guys, this is a no judgment channel. We're here to uplift. There's a lot of judgment and all the other toxic stuff in this world, but we don't do that here. We're here to uplift people. We're not here to judge them and condemn or none of that. So keep that in mind and please make sure your comments are respectable. Okay? Let's get into this topic of discussion today. And it is called Healing and Making God Your Source. And remember that everything I talk about is things I've gone through. Before we get into the message, I just also want to tell you guys and emphasize as you go through these trials and tribulations and you're on this healing journey, also make time for self care and laughter. Laughter and music was the best medicine. Laughter and music for me, always. I watch a lot of dog videos and different videos, with people talking and etc. So I saw a video, about this woman, and it was really kind of comical because what she was trying to, the point she was emphasizing is that some people who are out there like homeless. Some of them are just out there to take money from other people. So what happens is that with these folks, she kind of can tell who's who. So this guy comes up to her window, her car window, and he's asking for money. And she told him, I don't have any change on me right now, but I have some bills. He said, yeah, I'll take that. And she went in her pocketbook and gave him all her bills, her electric, her rent, all of that. And I thought that was hysterical. Anyway, certain things just make me laugh. But whatever makes you laugh, guys, engage in laughter and stay away from the toxicity. And as you do that, what I'm noticing that people, because my circle of individuals in my life is very small, and it's like that for a reason. When people just want to pry and see what you're doing, what you have going on, and I make a joke out of it because, like I said, this healing journey that I'm on, I don't take in the toxicity, I don't take in the drama or whatever it is, and if it gets to be a lot, I go into meditation and prayer and I give those burdens to God. And now, when you're a person, keep in mind that make vows to God and you keep those vows and you're working on those vows, God will intervene through divine intervention. Because what I do is, if something is trying to, or someone or whatever, trying to prevent me, because I had that issue before, trying to prevent me from healing and staying on this path. And I'm very self disciplined as well. And when people try to intervene with that, especially the vows I make, like I said, I don't play with God. I keep my vows, I do what I need to do. And when they interfere, I transfer that energy and give it to God. And then when they start having all these difficulties and problems, that's coming from God. Because like I said, God don't play when someone make vows, and I don't play with that. I'm on this path for a reason. Everything, remember, guys, I tell you things happen for a reason, season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And many of these things are unlearned lessons. So when you learn the lessons, you don't have to repeat anymore. And like I said, I'm not a religious person, but I am a person who loves God, and I am connected to Him. And you don't have to be religious to be connected to God. Don't believe that, because I'm living proof of that. You know, um, One of the things that I do a lot, I stay in prayer, meditation. Even when I get up in the morning, before I go to work or do anything, I'm in prayer before my day start, because I don't know what to expect. And whatever it is, I ask God to give me the strength to be able to deal and handle it. And then any negativity or toxicity, because some people, envious, toxic, I ask God, I'm taking these burdens and I'm giving it to you because they don't belong to me. And then I keep it moving. Um, this wasn't always the case, guys. Now I'm getting back into the topic of discussion. This wasn't always the case. I used to sit and cry and people bully and say things and be mean. And I don't do that stuff anymore because I know God has my back and God is my source. They can think whatever they want, but my life proves that God is the source. Um, One of the things I learned through this whole process is that losing so many people that I love and who meant a lot to me, including my parents, made me realize how negative and wicked some people can be. You can have people in your circle that you think they really care about you, and I'm using myself as an example, and they have your back and everything. You learn who people are when you go through traumatic experiences, you know? Because I went through the pain of losing my mother, 10 people, like I said, including family members and, people who really meant something to me, who are no longer here. And it made me look at life differently. And it made me see that I needed to look at who I had in my circle, make some changes, and make changes within. And that was not easy. At first, with all the things that was going on and situations that were occurring, I was so mad at God at first. Why am I going through this? I'm a good person. I have a good heart. Why am I dealing with A, B, C, D, and E? And really angry. If you guys ever seen an episode of Forrest Gump where the lieutenant lost his legs in a war and he was mad at God and he was saying a whole bunch of different things, that was me for the first 6 months after going through all this stuff. And then one day, when I start to put the pieces of the puzzle together to see, those lessons I talk to you guys about, unlearn lessons. Well, when you don't learn them the first time, they come around two, three, four, 5 times. And each time those lessons spin around, they get worse and worse. And I wasn't learning them. So I had to be sat down and learn that the people, doesn't matter who they were, um, family, otherwise, that were within my circle, these people were not, didn't have my best interests at heart. So what happened is that I had to make some changes. Sorry about that, guys. This music doesn't have without commercials. But anyway, I had to make some changes, and changes I didn't want to make. And I couldn't do it by myself. So, I went into prayer. First place, as I always talk about, is therapy, grief therapy. And as I start to do the work, I start to go into prayer, asking God to help me. And as I took these baby steps and continue to go, God started to help me and raise me up, guys, like no tomorrow, And what it brought out of me is a strength that I never knew I had. What doesn't break you or make you extremely powerful? I promise you that, guys. Because the strength I have to do the things that I do now comes from God, no doubt. And, I didn't think I would have the strength to go through what I went through. But after I made my peace with God, things started to change in my life for the better. And it doesn't matter what people looking at. Remember, I gave an example not too long ago that God will use people to bless other people, but he used people to do so in a way to confound your enemies. Like when I think about that, I think about David and Goliath. How, you know, Goliath was bullying the Israelites, etc. And then David was a shepherd boy, and that was a lowly position, really, back in the day. And he was a young boy, probably a teenager. And Goliath was a giant, as we know, right? And when he came towards Goliath with a rock and a sling, Goliath thought this was a joke. And we know the rest of the story. David trusts God, and he helped him slay Goliath. So, things that people say when it comes, oh, yeah, 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 whatever. But for me, I learned to trust God and know He's the source. And He started to show me, no doubt, that He's there helping me. It doesn't matter who says what, whatever. The lies will come, the gossip will come, the drama will come when you first get on this journey to heal the pain and the grief, you know. Um, and I started to heal from it, after I started looking at my life and making the positive changes and making my peace with God. Then I started to do the work to make the changes, guys. And it wasn't easy, it was hard, but it was well worth it. And as I took a step, I saw that God was taking a step in a background on my behalf. And things started to happen. I mean, I could tell you guys some story, especially something recently that was so much of a miracle. I know it came from God. It can't be any other way. Have you ever had things like that happen in your life that this came from God because there's no other way, because this is a miracle? Well, I've experienced that. Um, and it humbles me because I always felt like God didn't have to do anything for me. But His grace, God is graceful. And when you put in the hard work and He look at your intentions, and when your intentions are in the right place and you really are biting and crawling through and being persistent um, to heal your mental and physical health and to stay away from toxicity and drama and all of these things, He will help you. I promise you guys, I'm living proof of that. I have crawled, persevere, bit and chew my way through circumstances. And it doesn't matter what other people are talking about, because if God has my back, then who can be against me? I don't worry about it. What I do in prayer, I'm going to tell you guys something. I say, God, I made vows to you. And I do vows that I can keep, right? And I can't keep these vows if I got A, B, C, and D over here crawling and, trying to interfere with what I'm doing. And as soon as I do that, God comes through. He comes through all the time. And I'm so grateful for that, guys. And I promise you that, when you start to do the work, and you don't have to be religious or belong to a religious organization. If you do, you do. But I'm saying, when you have that relationship yourself with God, you know, um, it's amazing. that he will come through. I've learned self-discipline. I learned to see behind the mask that people are wearing, the fakeness. I've learned to be my authentic self and not worry about what somebody else think, because it's not about them, you know. And then I got on this path, you know, to turn the pain into power, power into a purpose, purpose to move forward. And one of my vows was to help other people, because God helped me come back from the dirt and the ashes and brought me up to where I am today. And I'm very grateful and humbled by it. And one of the goals is to help other people, because people are hurting deep down in their spirit, you know, with grief, depression, and all the things they see around them today. But divine intervention is here. God is here and he will help you. You know, he will not give us burdens that we can't carry. You know, and I lift those tons of bricks I talk about and give it to God. Here, this is too heavy to bear. And he takes them. You know, you don't have to carry anybody else's burdens, you know. So I was trying, like I said yesterday, trying to carry my burdens, the tons of bricks, and somebody else's bricks on top of my back while trying to metaphorically climb a hill. It wasn't going to work, guys. And I had to learn to stop being subservient and stop being more concerned about other people's problems than myself, because I was neglecting things in my own life. You know, I had a relative who, sibling, constantly begging for money because they didn't want to work, you know, and I stopped doing it. I'm not giving anyone anything, you know. I will help, you know, but when I see someone is taking advantage and constantly, you know, coming and trying to get something, no, no, sorry, I'll pray for you. That's it. I can't do anymore. And then when you start doing things in that manner, they start to flee and run in the opposite direction, because they see they can't use you anymore. They can't take advantage of you anymore. They can't get from you. And then I had to learn to put on that hard coat, you know, and stop allowing people to take advantage. And one of the ways I did that was to set boundaries. You know, started that way, as my therapist said. And once I set some strong boundaries and people were jumping, some people were jumping and leaping over those boundaries, then what I would do is just cut off, block, and delete. And at first, you know, I used to feel bad about it. Today, I could care less, you know, because my peace of mind means everything. And guys, when you're on this journey to heal, your peace of mind means should mean everything. Your peace, never allow anyone to disturb your peace, come into your life, bring drama, toxicity, and all types of hell to it. I refuse to allow that. I'm nice, yeah, and I'm a great, you know, generous person, you know, but I'm nobody's fool, you know. And at least I am today is very self-disciplined. I learned how to say no when it's necessary and keep it moving. It doesn't matter. You know, when you're on this journey to heal, you have to take care of yourself, self-care. Never allow anyone to disturb your peace or your healing process. And in order for me to be strong enough to do that, prayer and meditation, you know. And I thank God and give him the thanks every day for moving me forward, because none of this was easy, guys. Especially those of you who know, if you've lost both your parents, you know. I lost my father before I had my son, 2 years before I had my son. Um, and that was difficult because he died younger age than my mother, who just died a few years ago. And it's just, you know, it's hard when you don't have them anymore, because every Sunday I used to have, you know, it would be my day with my mother. And I still have issues with the grief of that. But I go into prayer asking God to help, you know, and one day at a time. Because you never get over those things, but I promise you, you can get through them one day at a time, one step at a time, you know, and never allow people who don't have your back um, to discourage you. Because sometimes people will come in and they see you doing the work to heal, and they try to throw a monkey wrench into it. And this is when I would say set boundaries. Because people who really care about you and love you, They come into your life to enhance it, not to destroy it, not to make you feel belittled or less than. They come in to uplift you, and that's why I say on this channel all the time, we're here to uplift, not the negative stuff and the drama, none of that. So, doing the work, after I started doing the work and taking care of myself, I started to experience inner peace. And that's where you guys want to go. You want to be at a place of inner peace, knowing that you are on this path to do the work. And as you do the work, knowing to be patient with yourself, one day at a time, one step at a time, because nothing is going to happen overnight. It takes time. And as you do the work, be proud of yourself. Self care, laughter, music heals the soul, things that uplift. And make sure you're around people who are going to uplift you, who are going to support what you're doing in a positive, and not those who want to tear you down like a bunch of crabs in a barrel. And as you get stronger, learn that these are lessons, and as you learn them, you never have to repeat them again. So let's keep showing up here on this channel, learning to turn the pain into power, power into a purpose to move forward, to not just help yourself, but help others as well, especially in this world we live in today. That's the message today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Share this with other people. Make sure you subscribe, because like I said, on a daily basis, I'm not sure what time I'm going to be here, but keep showing up, and you know keep send comments. I do read the comments and respond to them, and just let's keep this going, guys. Thank you for being here. This is Lisa, shedding love and light, and you guys have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Thank you again. Bye for now, guys.